All right, good morning, everyone. My name is Tatiana Webb. I am the founder and CEO of Nana Music Productions, and this is Off the Record. Which is a music podcast trying to help artists and music professionals learn a little bit more about the music industry, get a little more information about, tips and tricks to kind of be a little bit more successful. And today we are at Hilltop Public House in Montgomery, Alabama. We are drinking on some jasmine green tea, and also, what are you drinking on?
A really nice cold brew. They call it the crack. We love that.
Wonderful. Well, if you guys are interested in some really great brews or teas, or if you want to come here during the cocktail hours and get a nice mixed drink, they have like trivia days and like karaoke and stuff. So they have some really cool stuff for the locals here. So if you're ever in Montgomery, definitely come to Hilltop Public House. Today, we are with Marcus Dorsey.
Hello, hello.
He is our creative director with Nana Music Productions, and I will say he is my day one ride or die when it comes down to Nana Music Productions. Can you tell us a little bit about how you got brought into Nana Music Productions and kind of how I kind of coerced you to be a part of it?
Okay, so from the very beginning, I think our first actual project was your music video.
Yes.
What was the name of that?
It was Rebel. It is
Rebel.
still on YouTube. Please be gentle with me because that was when I was 21 and I was just trying to figure things out.
Oh my God, were we 21?
Yes,
Jesus
we are now
mercy.
30. So
That was 9 years ago. So yeah, I was on there as your director of photography.
yes.
Creative director, kept everything in line. It was a lot of fun. We were out there in the middle of the backwoods of Troy, Alabama.
Yeah, what was that? I forget what it was. Shellhorn, Alabama, which is about 7 miles from Troy, Alabama,
Yeah.
which is already a smaller town.
And
but
we were in an abandoned schoolhouse. It was a little
Yes.
scary. It was a lot of fun, though. We did not stay there past dark until after the last day.
Yeah.
But we're not going to talk about that right now. That's a funny story for later. But yeah, no, we were there for what, 3 days, a whole weekend?
Yeah, we were there for 2 days production
Yeah.
from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. And then the second day, we actually had my father's vehicle got stuck in the mud, and we were there from 5 p.m. to about 11 o'clock trying to find a tow truck on a Sunday.
And
so.
that tow truck didn't get there until what, like 2 o'clock in the
Yeah,
morning?
it was like
Oh,
the
it was a
brother,
great day.
cousin of the tow truck owner.
Yeah.
It was a whole thing.
No, but yeah, ever since then, I've been a part, and it's been a really great time. It's been a fun experience for
Yep.
sure.
That was when you technically didn't have the title of creative director.
No, I was just
but
there for
we
fun.
just started getting the company set up where we actually have titles and stuff now. So can you talk to the people online, but also on TikTok, because we are live on TikTok.
TikTok.
Hello. And also, real quick, before we go into this, can we get a quick audience shout out real quick? Can y'all guys give a little round of applause to show that we're loud?
Oh, thank y'all.
So people don't know we're lying, okay? But can you talk a little bit about what creative director means as far as a role, but also what the creative department in a record label artist development company, why it's important?
Yeah, absolutely. So creative director for at least not in music production, I've been able to establish all the branding. I've been able to help a lot of the artists establish their branding and image as well as helping Tatiana to establish her branding and image. I am also, as a creative director, I help with how we look online. I help with how we talk, how we present ourselves. I am very much the person who, if you need somebody, I'll actually bring this in now, is that I'm the person that you call when you need somebody to help with a performance. I'm there. I'm going to be your on-the-spot MC. I'll be your stage director. I'll be your marketing director. I can do all of it this is what our creative director for us have been. We've been really just being on the spot, have very good creative vision, be able to help make sure things flow, the ebb and flow of all of our performances, even from the beginning. This is what I've been doing, even with our artists. Is very, very important to help out with your image and getting pictures and establishing what that looks like.
Yeah, I will say this is one reason why, beyond being my friend, that I keep you around, because on stage, talking in front of people, I mean, even this, I have to lean on you a lot because I get nervous. I don't like public speaking sometimes. And so being able to go on stage and talk to people. I mean, one prime example is we just had Juneteenth Freedom Fest a couple weeks ago, where we had many people performing. And I was kind of thrown into the role of MC because, it was, my event along with Red Bluff and Vintage Hospitality Group. But I wasn't doing really great on stage. I was. So I had to lean on Marcus, who was amazing as far as just having that stage presence and having that air of being that MC and everything for the event. So definitely shout out to, what was it, MCMD, he called himself. And he had a call and response with the crowd and everything. It was amazing. But which also brings to, branding and stuff. So you called yourself MCMD.
Yeah.
You were, when you walked on stage, you had that presence that commanded the attention of the audience. So can you talk about that and why, that's important for an artist, even on stage and off stage? And
Absolutely.
Stuff like that?
So, when you think about an artist and what it takes to be an artist, it's not even just about you sounding nice, right? It's not about, it's not just about what your music is about. It's not just about what you are about. It's literally about everything that comes apart. Your marketing, your imagery, your presence on and off the stage, right? One of those things, like if you're really thinking about branding is a full thing. You got to figure out what that looks like and what it says about you as an artist. You take a look at Keke Palmer, one of my favorites. Keke Palmer is one of my favorite artists because though she is an entertainer, she is very much an entertainer with boundaries. Is one of the things I like to teach our artists now, because she's very much about, hey, this is my persona outside of the while I'm on stage, right? She's very much, I am fun, I'm laughing. She gives this very nice, wonderful Whitney Houston air about herself, but she's very confident and fun. You see that bubbly energy on there when she's talking and everything. But when she gets on that stage and starts singing and performing, you also know she owns that. It's like 2-3 different personas mixed up in one. But then she's also one of those types that when she's off that stage, she's very much herself. And one of the things I like to talk about our artists too is that when you are branding yourself, you have to figure out who that is on the outside and on the inside. Because you can go on the stage and be one person. I am very much a shy human being, but once I get on that stage, I'm very upfront and in your face. MCMD, right?
Absolutely.
But it's very, very important because you need to look at what your as branding, what your image looks like for your album, right? Your album has to say something. That album, look at Beyonce. All of her albums have been something different. She is a very, she stands in a room, she quiets the room, right? But though even each album, she changes. Her persona changes, the way she looks changes, the way she walks into the room a little bit different. She changes with that album.
Each album, even before you listen to the song, it tells that story. It tells you what that album is going to be about. And, and that's important because that's the imagery part of it. And going back to the Keke Palmer thing, talking about knowing who you are on stage, who you are when you're acting, who you are when you're at home, it's kind of like you're putting on different hats every time that you decide to wake up in the morning or when you enter a building or enter a space. And so you have to know what brand you're representing when you walk into a space.
Exactly.
One thing that my growing up, I mentioned this on one of our previous podcast recordings, but one thing that my parents taught us while we were growing up, because we did Broadway not rehearsals, auditions. We did child acting and stuff. And they always told us, anytime you go anywhere, you are always auditioning. You don't know who you're going to be in the room with. You don't know who you're going to have a conversation with or who you might bump into. That's why if you're walking or going somewhere, you want to look your best. You want to be able to, make sure that when you're speaking to someone, you speak respectfully. You have that professionalism about you, even if you're just going to go get, a jug of milk at the store. So you never know who you're going to be in front of.
Absolutely. Even that's what networking, like if you're wanting to put out an album, you want to start a gallery. Because artistry is not just music, it's, visual arts. You're going to start a gallery, start a music, and you want to get people to go on, you want to network. You have to have your elevator speech. And that elevator speech is 1 minute. Most of the time, you never know you're going to get that 1 minute from anybody. That 1 minute is very important. You need to know what you're going to say, when you're going to say it, and how you're going to say it. You can't be shy about it. You have to be very confident about it. And a lot of people don't get that, and which is why I like to help train people. I've trained people on interviews. Right? This is how to interview. It's very important. Very important on how to interview, how to be confident about it, right? It's just one of those things. Like even if you're looking at, and I'm naming like main top artists, right? But look at Adele, right? Adele, who is very serious in all her albums, right?
Yeah.
When she gets on that stage and she's silly.
She's very bubbly. She's very personal with the crowd, and I mean, it's definitely that personal connection that is something that is different from what is branded on and through her music.
Yeah, and that's one of those things. Like you don't always have to be on, right? You don't always have to be this serious persona that's in your music, as long as people get to see a hint to your personality, because now we're in that era of being yourself, which I absolutely love, because hiding behind a facade of yourself is actually quite annoying, because you don't know who that person, there's no personality, there's no interpersonal relation there. So really branding and being who you are and enjoying who you are, enjoying what you do. If you don't like what you do, it's going to show eventually.
Yeah, and owning that.
Yeah, owning
I
it.
mean, if you are, like for example, bringing back Beyonce, she has her Sasha Fierce. That is a brand, and that's an image and a decision that she made as an artist to be on stage. So now whenever she goes on stage and she channels that Sasha Fierce, she becomes Sasha Fierce, and you see that transformation on stage, and she's owning it. And that's important for our artists and musicians, and even our professionals that are not on stage, that it's important that you own who you are when you walk into a room, or whenever you are pitching your ideas and stuff. Like, this is important to your brand and your growth. So yeah.
And it's very words. It's very important on how you build your community too.
Amen. Yeah.
Because each artist has a different community. R&B artist has a certain type of community, that very laid back, vibey type community. Hip hop has the more turned up kind of community. Or if you even went to Vegas not too long ago, and they have for an EDM festival, EDC was a lot of fun. But each different set, each DJ has their own community too, which is also very important in your branding, is figuring out who are you going to market to, right? Or your image, or who you're going to market to when you're trying to build your community, because your community is so important.
Yeah.
So important. That's dope. I mean, your community is the people who are going to help you get paid. So, it's just one of those things. You have to really, really work on those interpersonal relationships and building that.
Absolutely. And just kind of piggybacking on that a little bit, it's definitely important to, like how you're saying, building your community, but specifically know who you're surrounding yourself with, because that's also part of your brand. If you are, like, for example, a Christian artist and you are doing gospel and doing performances and stuff, but then you're in places where, most Christian artists wouldn't be seen, or if you're, like a country artist, but you're, not saying that you can't blend genres and stuff, but if you're not, upholding what your brand and image is, that's going to hurt you in the end. And so, and let's bring it all the way back to a more personal level of it. Who your friends are, who your family is, how you interact with family and friends, people who support you and stuff like that. That's important to your brand, because if you're hanging out with people who are not, and I'm speaking just freely here, but people who aren't really doing anything with pushing your goals, pushing your dreams and stuff, that is going to set you back. So now you've got to look at who your surrounding is, beyond just who you represent and how you present yourself. So it's all part of the overall bubble. If you think of it like a target, you're the center part of that target, and that's your core, that's who you are. But who you surround yourself with family and friends, and then who you work with on a professional level and everything, and how you expand, that's important to how you what your target goal is as far as your branding, and if you're hitting the mark.
This is also why I bring up Keke Palmer too. I love her because she's very upfront and open about it, and she tells people she pisses people off, but it's okay. She don't care. It's one of those. an artist with boundaries, right? Because artists are 9 to 5. Honestly, if you look at it, an artistry, Beyonce, Adele, whoever, all your favorite, they are 9 to 5 job.
Yeah.
And you see either one of them out and they're out with their friends, they are not on the clock. And I love for artists to, especially our artists now, even if you are out, if you're out with your friends, you are not on the clock unless you want to be. You don't have to be up and on all the time, because one is exhausting. It's very exhausting. And you shouldn't have to worry about what you're doing outside of your norm, which is why I kind of hate that we're also in the record everything phase in this era, because it's kind of hard to do what you want to do, be out there with your friends.
Yeah.
And it's actually kind of sad, especially Billie Eilish, like, she's so young. She can barely do what she wants to do without somebody trying to record her and being out there, and she's out there trying to be herself. She's what, 22, 23?
Yeah.
Like, come on now. But it's one of those things, like, I want to really push that you need to have boundaries as an artist. Because yes, you're correct. It does matter who you're hanging out, who you're hanging out with, who you're around, but you shouldn't also have to think about that all the time. It's not good. That's just not healthy. It's not fun.
Right.
It's exhausting.
Which is also why I was saying it's like the hats.
Yeah.
It's like, when you put on your personal hat, when you are at home or when you're with your friends and stuff, you need to protect protect that image. So more so to say, if you're hanging out and being with friends and you're going out having fun and you're not on the clock, protect that.
Oh, absolutely.
And so what does that mean? Like, that means if you're out and you are, somebody tries to come up and try to be a fan, it's like, thank you so much, but, come see me when I'm at a show, or come see me at my next spot, whatever, pitch your different brand, which is your art, or like your performances and stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Follow me on Facebook,
Yeah.
Instagram, whatever. And then, it's like, okay, I will talk to you
Yeah.
another time and whatever, and then step back.
Yeah.
So there's boundaries, like how you're saying with Kiki, is like there's moments where you have to, protect that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. No. And it's one of those things, like seeing how far we've come to, you and I.
Yes.
And having,
Oh,
we can
Lord.
actually go out and be, I think one of those things, we have set those boundaries amongst
Yes.
people. Because, look, we've been here 9 years now. Our first actual job was 7.5 years ago,
Yeah.
give or take.
Yeah.
And it was an impromptu week. We had a student put on a week-long a showcase within a week. Absolutely amazing. I got called 3 days beforehand, though, to come and help set up this event. And this is where
I wonder who did that.
the creative director role comes into play, because it's really fun. Because usually when I go into stuff like this, I have an idea and have a goal of how things are going to go.
Yeah.
And one of those things was help with rehearsals. I've done theater, so I know generally how rehearsals are supposed to go. These rehearsals weren't going the way they were supposed to, right? And this is one of those things, like, I don't mind pulling the plug. Hat comes in. I don't mind pulling the plugs on things and making sure things need to go the way they do. Mind you, these kids are in high school. Within a week, they're performing, rehearsing rather, and I think it was like day of, we finally saw a full run through of the show.
Yeah, I was brought on to the project. It was a few months before, but I wasn't brought on as like an actual production helping out kind of thing. It was just more so vocal lesson kind of thing. And then it was the week of, and they really needed the help. And so I think it was like Monday, Tuesday, I was doing rehearsals, and then I was like, I need backup. I need help. Marcus, come here. And you were like, oh, this dress rehearsal. Okay, it's gonna be great. And don't get me wrong, they did a phenomenal job performing. But the actual what was it? The actual rehearsals and what they were actually going to do, it was still being pieced together.
Yeah.
And so, but this is where, as a creative director role, and knowing, okay, as far as brand and image of, okay, what are you trying to achieve, artist? What are you trying to tell the story of? Okay, this song needs to be pulled out. This song needs to be pulled out, because in order for you to do this and be successful and be able to sustain yourself for the period of this showcase, you have to now pull back on the ambition that you were trying to do, so that way you execute the vision well.
Absolutely.
And that's what we had to kind of duel into there. And Marcus, he did a phenomenal job of, not only helping direct that and teach that to that student, but then also being the MC, being the the stage director,
production manager.
And don't get me wrong, it was a phenomenal performance. It was over at the amphitheater. It was great. I mean, we had a whole crowd. It was amazing. But yeah, it was just one of those examples, and one of our first real examples where it wasn't an event or a project that we were doing, but we were able to come in and kind of do a triage of helping this artist out and perform. And that's talking about also, if you are an artist who does not have that community, or maybe doesn't have, the direct resources for those kind of directions, and kind of being able to see beyond the focus that you're trying to do, you need to tap into a team. You need to tap into people who do provide that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, because that's one of those things, like, in that moment, I don't think a lot of people realize, especially when you're going into being an artist and performing and stuff, how much actually goes into it. Because once you get on that stage, the last thing you need to think about as an artist is what's happening behind that stage, right? You don't need to know when is your next cue. Well, you should know when your next cue is, but that's what your stage director is for too, to help you out, because you need to be focused on your music and how you're performing, your voice, or your dancing, your body, because you might hurt something. You don't need to know.
Don't want to hurt something.
Right. You need to worry about what the sound is going, because you have a sound director for that. You don't need to know how music is going, because you have your music director for that. You have your band for that. There's so much that goes behind. So artists, if you're starting out and you need a concert done, make sure you get a team, because going in without a team is wild work. It's not bad. It's not unheard of. It can be done, but make sure you have a smaller team that can help you out with that, because it is very exhausting. However, then come up 7 years later, and we put on our own show production, though it was 12 hours long. It was a festival. It was a festival. I won't take away from that, but it was absolutely amazing.
Thank you.
Probably one of our best productions, festivals, events we've ever done.
Absolutely.
That was the Juneteenth Freedom Fest. It went from 10 to 1 o'clock in the morning.
It was 1 o'clock p.m. to about, we finished around 11:30.
Okay.
So,
yes.
But still, it was a long day. We were physically there starting at 9, setting up and stuff. But that was an amazing showcase, because we got to feature some national acts, some performers who had been on Broadway. We had some a judge that was on. She was actually a contestant on American Idol. We gave away 3 scholarships for students to come and get scholarships to Troy University for a performance showcase, where we had a busload of like 60, 70 people from Pennsylvania come down and just flood. And we had 2 family reunions. And they were all wearing yellow too, so it looked like a whole bunch of minions out there. It was amazing. But no, it was great, because we had the showcase with some of our musicians that we had a part of the company. We had some of my vocal students perform Hakuna Matata, which was amazing. And actually, Jalen's in the room. Hi. He was amazing as Timon. But there was a lot of and then we had poets and we had dancers. I mean, it was a full day of just culture, music, arts, performance. It was fun. We had, food trucks and bouncy houses and, just everything. And so to be able to go from, our music video that we did, when we were 21 to, doing, what was it? We were doing different concerts and different performances and stuff for other people.
Oh my gosh! So we were doing what? We were booking. We were booking just the 2 of us, booking shows.
It was just us 2
at different
for the
bars.
longest.
Yeah. Oh my goodness! Now that I think about it, what the bar. Lower Lounge, we were booking them out for
Yep.
their shows. Prevail, booking out for their shows. Oh, wow, we have done a lot.
Yeah, we were doing a songwriters round as well,
Yeah.
which will be coming back. In the round, will be coming back this year, as well as I think we're going to do our new artist series again as well. So there's going to be a lot more that Nana Music Productions is going to be doing for the community, as well as to give artists the opportunity to perform. I know I'll be doing my showcases with my vocal students as well. So if you do vocal lessons, let me know. But with that, because we did Juneteenth, because we did different events like that, it's starting to now build personally my confidence as
Yeah.
a company, because I'm like, okay, our branding, what we're doing is on point.
Yeah.
And that's going to happen for you too if you work on that as an artist or as a professional. I mean, you could be a photographer or a marketing person or,
Yeah.
A producer, stuff
We
like
need
that.
a team. Like that's absolutely like there's so much that goes into music producing.
Yeah.
There's so much that goes into art in general that you don't even think about it. We need lawyers, one of those.
We need entertainment lawyers. Anybody out there with a law degree, please come forward. But no, it's all important. And if you want to know more about, or if you want more of like a personal connect on that, please
Yeah.
contact Nana Music Productions. We have a lot of resources, kind of everything that we talked about today.
Yeah.
We provide, but. I will open up the floor to the room in case anybody has any questions. Marcus has his phone, so he can see if there's any questions online, because we are live. But yeah, let's talk. Let's see if y'all have any questions about what would help you out as an artist or a performer or music industry professional.
Now, we'll just say, and I'll say this as just a little tidbit, which is really funny and really fun about all of this is happening right now, is actually really coming back full circle for me right now.
Yeah.
Because what was this? Not even 10, 11 years ago? Wait, 12 years ago, we just became friends.
Yep.
We
met-
in college.
August, September of 2013.
Yeah. Ooh, stop! Don't do that. Ooh, those numbers really started to hit. Then we graduated. We did the music video.
Yes.
And not even a year after that, we were sitting in Panera Bread,
Oh my goodness. Yes.
literally talking about hopes, dreams, and goals that we wanted to do.
I have the picture still.
And Nana Music Productions was one of them. And here we are now at 30 years old.
Don't go teary-eyed now.
Here we are now at 30 years old doing this as a podcast, right?
Right.
It is so cool. This is awesome.
By the way, we might do this as well since we're doing this podcast
Yeah.
as well. We have another podcast that we're going to try to do too. So, but we'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
Point being, the fact that we're on a podcast together right now is great. So, yay, we did it. Okay, so any questions for the room are online, and let's see what y'all guys have to say.
Yeah, go
Yes.
ahead.
Come
What's
to the
up?
mic. Yeah, we have a room mic, guys, so yeah, we're fancy.
So first of all, I want to say thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you for
'Cause
coming.
marketing and brand representation is really huge now,
Mm-hmm.
right? That's what attracts people to your events and creates interest. right?
Absolutely.
So what do you see being in this area is the hardest part about the branding and marketing piece when
So-
it comes to what you do?
On the marketing,
question, by the way.
great question. Thank you. On the marketing aspect of it, because I'll run this back. On the marketing aspect on it, being in this area specifically, one thing that I found that's really interesting is that Montgomery is not really a digital town, right? Montgomery is very much a paper town. And what I mean by paper, we believe in newspapers, we believe in flyers, billboards. Like if it's not in the paper or it's not on the billboard, you don't see it. And on the side of this, I'm a full-time bartender, bar manager, right? And I get a lot of questions about what is there to do in Montgomery. Now, if you go to cities like Atlanta, you can go up to Birmingham, you go to Memphis, they all
Nashville,
have
all
a
of
central location for you to find a hub, if you will, for finding things to do. We don't have that here in Montgomery. And then what I love to tell people, especially new people, ask your bartender. Technically, your bartender, your servers are your central hub. Right.
Yeah, your barber or
Yeah, your
whoever.
barber, yeah.
who the kind of tapping into the service industry
Yeah.
because they are the ones that are working the events
Yeah.
or the things. They're at the locations where things are happening.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and one thing specifically, we're talking about the Montgomery area in Alabama. So specifically with this city, we're really hard to get out the house. So one thing is if it isn't convenient or if there is not enough incentive for somebody to come outside, they're not going to come outside,
Yeah.
or they're going to find something else to do. There's I'm not going to get into much of the politics of it, but there's a division specifically in Alabama, Montgomery, where if you're not one side of town, you're not going to go to the other side of town.
Yeah.
And for some reason, going 10 minutes down the road is too hard to do sometimes. Whereas you'll be in Atlanta, or you'll be in Nashville, and you'll go a full hour or 30 minutes across town just to get there early
Yeah.
and all that stuff. So it's a culture that we have gotten settled into. And right now, the pandemic really kind of hit us hard with that because it got everybody in their creature comfort zone. So, 5 years now out of it, or more so like about 2 or 3 years out of it now, we are getting to the point where we have to start breaking that habit and giving people incentives to come outside. And so with it being in a recording digital age, that's why it's important because everybody's on their phone and everyone is scrolling and stuff and TikTok and whatever. And so it's important for us to be on digital, but you also have to know your community.
Yeah.
So like, for example, in places like Hilltop, they have bulletin boards where they have like events and stuff coming up. You should tap into that.
Yeah.
Talking about with the bartenders and people like that. Talk to your community who are out and about. And that's how you get engagement. So it's just, yeah.
And that's what that's just the marketing portion of it. But let's talk about your branding, right? Especially in this side of town. Actually, all over your branding should say "come out." No matter what it is, your branding should say "come out." No matter how it looks, what it is. The big thing is you want to be there. I want you here. And that's very important in a town like this when you pass out your flyers, when you're on the news, or when you're trying to do something. Because one of the things about this particular area is a lot of stuff has to be family friendly. So that's a big way to get people out, especially when you're trying to brand something, which is why Juneteenth worked out so well. Is trying to get people to come out. If you look at Alabama Shakespeare Festival, right? They're trying to do more community involvement. Where they're really trying to focus on that brand right now. So they've, Wizard of Oz, the creative director and marketing director has been going in and out of different locations and trying to share their brand, and be like, hey, let's communicate, let's do some stuff. And that's part of all that marketing. Your branding is, honestly, your image starts with the person. When you go talk to somebody, when you go meet somebody, one of the challenges here is going out to go meet somebody and making sure they're open to you, right? But then once you start, that's why I say you got to be so friendly and have fun and bubbly sometimes. And you can be serious, because usually I'm a serious person. But that branding, that marketing, that pushing, and making sure everybody out, because you got to get on the news sometimes too, make sure people are talking to you. Especially in this area, if you're not on the news, nobody knows about it too. But it's just one of those things. You really have to push that branding and marketing and really push getting people out. Because now with the younger generation is
We're
digital.
old.
Right. But you have to find a good mix.
Yeah.
A good mix. Essentially, what I'm trying to say.
And just putting an endpoint to what he's saying, we have to do market research in the areas that you're in. So if you're in this area, you got to know your community. If you're in Atlanta, you got to know your community. You got to know where you're at. If you're in a smaller town and the backwoods, whatever, you got to know your community and what will pull people to come to those events and things. Also having eye-catching, branding and stuff too. Some people like more of that vintage look. Okay, that'll be a pull from there. Some people like more of that crisp, clean minimalism. Great, that'll pull people just from the visualization of it. So it's just knowing what people are drawn to, and it takes a little bit of work.
Yes.
And that's why we're saying build your team, have your team together, because that's the team that's going to be doing that work and refining it. So that way, now when you do your events, do your trying to get community draw or whatever, you now have that kind of the analytics built to be able to now execute and push, and now you have draw. I mean, that's the reason why well-established businesses and companies and stuff, that they did the work, and so now they can just say, we're doing this pop-up event, and now people come. Yeah, it's the reputation that was built. So, and the consistency, oh my God, being consistent is also big too. So yeah, I hope we answered your question.
Thank you. You did answer my question. I just want to leave with one comment.
Okay.
I will say that what you said is spot on, because when I decide to come to events, I'm thinking about safety.
Yes,
Right?
absolutely.
Is it worth my time? And do I know these people?
Yes.
And I will say that when I do see something by Nana Productions, I know that, one, I know Tatiana, so I definitely want to support her and the team. And I've heard you all sing and all of that, and I enjoy myself every time I come. And it's a good quality event, but more so the support that I want to give. So whoever's listening, if you see Nana Productions, just know that it's going to be a good quality event, and it's what you make it. So if you come out, it's going to be, it's just going to bloom from there. So if you can, just come out and support.
Thank you.
I'm gonna
Thank you.
get these tissues,
All
man.
right.
Thank you so much. Because I mean, I was thinking the threat was gonna be from Marcus talking, and then now you're bringing out the tears. I'm like, okay, hold on one second. But no, and that's kind of part of our branding and image as well. We do work with all types of genres, all types of artists. I mean, there's no, if you do more adult versions of stuff, okay, we still work with you. But when we try to do events, we try to make it inclusive to everybody, because it's the same reason why we don't discriminate against genres. We want there to be everyone involved, included. We want it to be a fun environment for everybody. So, like with example with Juneteenth, with our event, we had it designed where there was a block party specifically for family friendly, because we wanted them to be there. And then towards the evening, it was more centered towards adults and people who just wanted to have a good time on a Saturday night and just have a good time. And so, some people won't come to family friendly stuff, but they'll come to, if there's drinks and stuff, hey, I'm there. There's people who won't come to that, but hey, if there's bouncy houses and opportunities for my kid to shine, great, let's do that. So, and we're trying to make it where we're all inclusive and stuff. And that's part of, like I said, is part of our branding.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Absolutely.
Any other questions in the room?
No. I would say I would like to add the reputation matters, which goes through consistency, especially in this area.
Yeah.
I kind of circle back to the last question about marketing and branding, because if you look at, like, shout out Hilltop. When Hilltop does their trivia nights or their bingo nights, it took them a while to get there, to have the crowd that they have. But the consistency matters. They kept doing it. I come in here on some bingo nights, and I'm in here with my nice little green transparent hat, and I'm having a great time.
Hey.
But they've also built a community. They get a lot of non-for-profits in here to either sponsor or support or bring gifts. It's just really about building. In a town like this, in a city like this, work with your community when you're marketing. Work with your community heavy, because it will pay back tenfold. Because you go to Atlanta and there's a new thing going up, they're there.
Yeah.
Oh, that's new and popping. Let's go try it out. Birmingham, same way. Here it's all about reputation. So it's been a challenge, but it's been a fun challenge on trying to figure out how to get people in and out of our events, right?
Yeah. And again,
Out to our
that's
events.
right. And that's why I'm saying it takes time. It takes those analytic builds. It takes that, dedicated energy to be able to make something happen. And so, we may not have a lot of people in the room for our third, fourth podcast, but we're doing a podcast. So a lot of this is going to be filmed online anyway.
Yeah.
And what we want to do is start building our reputation and everything to where now, when we're on, season, episode, whatever, 100, we say, hey, we're doing a podcast recording at Hilltop, and now they do not have the capacity to hold us. And so, I want to be able to make it where we're flooding the scene, where we have to do RSVPs or something like that, because it's like, people want to be in the room when we start talking, or we're in the room when we have an artist performing. And you have to do that for yourself as an artist. You have to have a team, or you have to have, the skill set to be able to make the intentional move to be able to build that branding and build that everything. So, yeah.
And I would like to shout out, are there any questions before I say this?
Yes.
Any other questions?
Any other questions? Is there any online, by the way?
I haven't seen any.
I've got a lot of likes. I really appreciate that, whoever's
Right
doing
here.
that.
Because thank you so much. I would like to say this, speaking on branding and marketing, this young lady right here has done a phenomenal job over the 7.5 years since Not a Music
Don't hurt me
Production.
now.
Not a Music Productions has been going on, like the work, the contracts, the networking, the community involvement. And this one right here, Tatiana has been putting it in. I'm impressed. Every time I look at her, I'm very impressed of how we're going and how we've grown. Ooh, let's not do that. But no, it's been a
looking at you.
really great time. Well, and I'm gonna go, because if I keep talking like this, I'm gonna start crying. I don't want to do that right now.
This is our first episode, man. Like,
Together, yeah.
Yes, like
Oh my
I need you
goodness.
to not cry. Next episode.
So questions, what's personal going on? What's new for the business? Let you speak and talk.
As far as branding goes.
Branding, what you're doing personally, artwork.
Okay, so
artistry.
So he's putting me on the spot
Yep.
for a reason, because this is what he does for our artists and for other brands that we work with. So as far as Tatiana putting on that hat right now, I am currently working on my second album. I am an artist as well, so I'm not only
Amazing singer, by the way.
Thank you.
And performer.
I will say, I'm kind of doing the practice what you preach kind of thing. If I'm telling my artists, hey, come out here, do this, be working on your music on the side, X, Y, Z, I'm going to be doing that as well. And so that's why I kind of built Nana Music Productions as well, is because I recognize I cannot do this by myself. So like how I said, I'm working on my album. So I'm in the writing phase right now. So I'm going to get my production director and everybody involved, so that way we can start working on the actual album concept and working on the actual recordings and everything. We will probably start with singles first. That's something that I recognize, I recommend for artists is do not push an album until you have a single and you build your following. Do not push an album before you build your following, because if you push an album, that is just all of those records are now kind of going to the side, because there was not enough brand build, there was not enough engagement, there was not enough fan base, so that way when you launch it, it blooms and blossoms and it just pushes. So my thing is start with singles, start with getting that right, get your copyrights, get all of your publishing and stuff in order, get your branding, get everything set up, so that way when you launch that single, it pushes. And if it doesn't, you're able to now study it and it's only one song, and then you can pull that back, remaster it, put another code on it, and then push it again and see what hits. And then once it does, great. Now you can push another song, or now you can push another project or something like that. A lot of artists like to say, oh, I've got a new song this month, or oh, I got a new album this month, or whatever. That's great to have in your arsenal to now be, to push timely. There's the phrase saying, old to me, new to you. So it's old to us as the artist because we wrote that way back 6 months ago, but to you, it's just the hottest thing that just got pushed. So we want to make sure that when you're pushing projects and stuff as an artist, you are being intentional about the release.
Absolutely.
And that's part of the branding, it's part of the imaging, it's part of, making sure that when you push something, it's intentional and there's power behind it. Instead of, okay, I'm just going to release things because I just got to be consistent and something might hit. That's just being, I'm going to say it because I'm a company owner. That's foolish, and you're just kind of throwing your music away at that point. And so you're putting money on the floor at that point, and you're not making sure that you're, making sure it's going to your account. So as far as me, yep, I'm working on an album, I'm working on a single, I'm working on music. I'm working on, I have my personal things as well that I will keep off the podcast, but I'm working on building the company's branding and working on building up the company to where we are already working nationally. Hopefully we can start working internationally, trying to make it where we can start helping out our artists a little bit more. I know we are working with a lot of artists as far as bookings go. I'll keep it transparent. Bookings is hard.
Yeah,
It's
booking
really
is hard.
hard. And making sure that my team is equipped and trained enough to be able to do that. We are currently hiring in a couple areas. So if you're interested in working with Nana Music or working as part of Nana Music Productions, please give me an email at Tatyana, Tatyana, at nanamusicproductions.com. And just send me an email so that way, and with your resume and your credentials and what you're interested in as far as the industry goes. But that is something that we are honing in on because we want to make sure that the company is tight before we start rocket launching a lot of these big projects that we're starting to tap into, which is, really, really exciting. So more to come with that as we continue to build.
Yeah. Yes.
Did I answer your question?
You did.
Okay.
You did.
Awesome. Do you have any final words or final tidbits or tips or just something that if an artist just so happened to be coming into the podcast right now, whether online, whether on TikTok or whatever, what is the biggest point that you would like for them to take away as far as their branding, their image, what's important about that establishment for them?
Have fun.
Yeah.
Have fun. That is the easiest thing I can tell you. One of the hardest things, even as me, I'm a photographer. I've been a photographer for 13 years now. No, actually longer than that. It's 14 years.
Yeah.
Good gravy. One of the hardest
Almost
things.
half your life.
Yeah, half my life, right? One of the hardest things as an artist is that we put too much into it. And that's not a bad thing, right? But the problem is we want to make everything monetary. And that makes it so much harder to enjoy it. I am a photographer and ceramicist. On the side, photography is my first love, and I like to say ceramics is my stepchild. That is now my second child, right? But this goes the same for music. Like any type of artistry, anything that you have a passion for, fall in love with it. You don't have to make money off of it. If you're doing it for the fun of it, it will always be fun. Money will come. I taught a ceramics class, I was doing a ceramics workshop 6 or 7 years ago, back at my alma mater in Troy. And one of the biggest things I told the students, don't ever let anybody tell you that what you're doing is not worth it. Oof. The emotions are coming back for that one.
Say that one more time for the crowd in the back.
Don't let anybody tell you what you're doing, what you love is not worth it. Because you will make the money. The money will come. You will have to work hard for it.
Yeah.
If you want to do money, if you want money from it, it will come. If you don't want money from it, the money will still come. Because somebody will see your worth, will see the worth in what you're doing. And it was like, you know what? Let me give you that. Let me pay you that. Let me donate something to that because I see what you're doing and it's amazing and I want to see more of it.
Yeah.
As an artist, music, visual art, whatever you consider your art to be, take your time, develop it, enjoy it, love it, have fun, and find a team who will have fun with you. It is hard out here. Especially nowadays, we're not in the creative world that we were in, 2025? 5 years ago? No, 6 years ago, before COVID. We're not in the creative world that we were in anymore. So you really have to find something and love it.
And we're in the age where there's AI, so now we're competing with AI as far as creative, development and, those things too. So that's something, and that's a completely different topic
Yeah.
to discuss about, and we will bring it onto the podcast. But that is something that you also have to understand that you're also competing against
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, keeping to the fun part, of course, and always being creative, always thinking about that, what you want to do, that's always important. But, if you are on the monetary commercial side of things, that is something that is a real topic to discuss because AI is getting really smart
Yeah.
and getting really advanced.
Yeah.
And that is something that if you are trying to make a career out of this, it's going to impact, it's already impacting
Yeah.
many, businesses and, how people flow and stuff like that. So,
Yeah.
but I really do resonate with the having fun. And as long as you're intentional about what you're doing
Yes.
and you're having fun with it, the money will come, the projects will come,
Yes.
the support will come.
Yes.
Be consistent.
Yes.
Because if you're just doing things pop up every once in a while without having that fan base developed, then it's just going to be a hobby
Yes.
at that point. But if you have millions of followers and then you're like, pop up and
Yeah.
then now it's niche. Now it's something that is like, oh, they did something. So yeah. But thank you so much.
Also, everything is not a competition.
Yes.
Everything is not a competition. I don't care if Frank, Joe, and Bill are doing something, you're doing the same thing. You're not competing with them. I'm sorry. You're not. You're different. You're a whole different person. Enjoy what you're doing. And now you can have friendly competition. Friendly competition is a lot of fun. But if you're an artist, visual, music, it's very nice to sit there and praise your friends. Praise the other people around you. It's okay to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. And what was I gonna say? Because I mean, that's also a big thing. Because it's not just focus on you, but also take care of your community too. Take care of the people who support you. Like I plug Marcus every time I go anywhere. I now have more photographers, but he was my OG. Like whenever I do a photo shoot, and I still do photo shoots with you, he is a phenomenal photographer. We also now have Brendan Tolles in the back as our
Right.
multimedia director as
Who's an
well.
amazing photographer as well.
So
Good
he's
gracious.
amazing. But I've recognized that they have different styles of photography and videography and imaging and stuff. So whenever I want to tap into a certain style or whatever, I know who I can call on to because I've nurtured those relationships in a way where it's like, okay, I know they will provide this type of look and image and branding, but also, people are doing different shows and different galleries and stuff like that. So whenever I can support or
Yeah.
share to whoever I can whenever I'm allowed to. So
Absolutely.
so yeah, so it's all in all community, have fun, but also be intentional and consistent with it. And those are the core parts of it. Beyond that, it's just repetition and trying to build it up and refining it. You were saying you're not competing with anybody, and I would say that you're competing with yourself, but almost not, because all you're doing is just you're always going to get better at it. So you're not really competing. It's just like, for example, a woodworker goes out to the shed and they have a piece of wood and they're going to make, a toy or, a piece of art out of it. Every piece of wood is different. Every, stroke, every single shaving, everything like that, and carved into it, it's a different masterpiece every time. You can make the same version of the same image with different pieces of wood, but it's going to be different every single time.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so you can't compare one to the other, even if they look the same. So the thing is, as an artist, you have to understand that every project, everything that you do is unique, it's different, and it's going to take a different type of, strategy to be able to make it work, whether that's song, whether that's, dance. Every time a dancer steps, they may have done the routine several times, but maybe their ankle's a little weak this day, or maybe they didn't drink enough water this day. Their body is a different being that one performance versus the next.
Yeah.
So it's understanding that, who you are and what you're doing and stuff like that is always going to be
add on to that, because one of my favorite sayings, though, is cliche: comparison is the theft of joy, right? And you say, you're competing against yourself. I can remember when I first started in college, freshman year, I'm about to get sad thinking about it. Freshman year, walking around doing photography, having a great time. I've done like I had a 4 terabyte hard drive, had about 4 years of work on there, had a great time, right? I left for fall break, came back spring for the spring semester. That 4 terabyte hard drive was dead. It had just completely went kaput. It said, "No, I don't want to work no more. Like, you're gonna have to figure it out." I literally had to redo and restart and rebrand, refine my style of photography because I had nothing to go back to.
Wow.
It was one of the hardest things because I would go back and look at my photography work from when I first started, which is crazy. And be like, oh my God, my stuff doesn't look like it used to. It doesn't have that air or whatever it used to. It didn't have that whatever. I went back and forth for months, just sad, right? I was still taking pictures, but I'm just sad. My stuff doesn't look the same. It doesn't feel the same. And then it just hit me. It's like, you're different, right? As an artist, you're different. You're different day to day.
Always evolving.
Right. And as musicians, you can write different. You're saying something, you're telling a different story. As a photographer, Brendan can probably attest, you're taking a different picture. It might be in a different style, but you're telling a different story.
I mean,
and it's amazing.
And even with an like a music artist, because we are honing more on music, I've noticed as a writer, as I've gotten older and I've gone through more life experiences, the content of what I write is completely different. I mean, if you listen to, and I'm not plugging for real, but if you listen to my album that I released, Unconditionally Beautiful, that was my let me see what I can do album. And there's different genres and it's not really pieced together in a storyline, but and each of the songs had a different message and it showed what I was in that season of my life, you know, what I was trying to say and stuff. And so now I've gotten a more mature view of life. I've gone through some things. And so I'm not saying that this album is going to be sad. I'm just saying it's going to be more mature for the audience and the listener. And if you want to have a good time listening to it, you can. But if you're trying to understand where I'm coming from, you'll be able to see that too. Yeah. And you'll be able to resonate with that. And I'm hoping to portray that in my branding and imaging when I come down to the style of writing and stuff like that. So, but with that, I know we are almost out of time. Yes. So thank you so much, Marcus, for joining us. Yes. This is a great discussion. Give him a round of applause so that way, If you like what you heard, you can listen to us more at Off the Record podcast. It will be on Spotify and all of the other distribution websites. We are really excited about this platform as far as being able to be a way to give artists an opportunity to perform, but also showcase their music, talk about topics that help artists and help with their businesses and everything. I know that we will be doing some showcases and stuff as far as on the show. So if you're an artist and you want to be on the show, please reach out to, I think it's our booking@nanamusicproductions.com email. Send us, your track on Spotify, so that way we can share it and we can also tag it. And we're going to start setting up some live performances as well soon. And then also, as another shout out, thank you so much to Hilltop Public House for hosting us today. Give them a round of applause as well. They kept us hydrated, energized, and caffeinated. So that was perfect. If you are a small business that has a space like this that would like for us to come as well, please reach out to us as well. You can do the booking at Nana or do the Tatiana at Nana Music Productions email. We are trying to branch out more. We're trying to find ways to engage people more in a personal live setting, as well as on our online stuff as well. So we're trying on our branding to be more accessible for everybody. So, but with that, I'm Tatiana Webb, and this is Marcus Dorsey. And with that, we are out. And this is what's my tag? And this podcast is Off the Record.
Great, I love that. I love that.